If you've ever played the card game Crazy Eights, then you know the no. One strategy is to pay attention to what cards your opponent plays and try to anticipate what they might play next based on their patterns. If you can read their moves, then you can set your own strategy accordingly and increase your chances of winning. Well, turns out that one of history's greatest military minds was a master at this particular strategy. One of Opechancanoug's most defining strategies was his mastery of deception and patience. He understood that the English colonists vastly underestimated Indigenous intelligence and military capability, so he kept up a public appearance of being willing to work with the colonists, even as he meticulously prepared for a decisive strike. In 1622, after years of planning, intelligence gathering, and coordination with other tribes, his forces launched a synchronized attack on multiple English settlements across Virginia. In a single day, his warriors killed nearly a third of the Virginia colonists, an event that would later be known as the 1622 uprising. But here's the thing. The assault wasn't some kind of a spontaneous or accidental outbreak of violence. It was the culmination of years of careful planning, intelligence gathering, and coordination with other tribes. And it completely caught the English off guard. You see, for the English, the very idea of a large-scale coordinated attack by Native Americans was completely out of the question. They simply did not believe that the various tribes were capable of such a feat. In fact, the English had a long history of underestimating the intelligence and capabilities of the indigenous peoples they encountered. They often viewed them as primitive, savage, and unorganized, and therefore easy to manipulate and control. But Opechancanough knew that his people's strength lay in their ability to conceal their plans from the English and strike when they least expected it. While the English were focused on the coastal areas, building settlements, and trading, he and his allies were laying the groundwork for the uprising, planning the logistics, identifying targets, and assembling a force strong enough to make a real difference. By the time the English realized what was happening, it was too late. Opechancanough and his forces had already struck, and the colonists' best efforts to defend themselves were simply not enough. The attack devastated the Virginia settlements, killing hundreds of colonists and sending the survivors into a panic. It was a resounding victory for the Native Americans and a devastating blow to the English. But perhaps the most important thing to come out of it was that it shattered the English illusion of their own superiority and demonstrated the resilience and adaptability of indigenous resistance.